market. Okay, so that is it for tomorrow. So which means I would be active trading on Tuesday. Although on Tuesday we don't really have much fundamental for the US dollar because I trade only gold. We have CB consumer confidence at 2 p.m. and that would be it for the medium impact on Tuesday. We also have another low impact HPI month on month, and then XMP CS composite whatever on at 1 p.m. So I don't really know much about this fundamental. The major ones are CPI, NFP, employment rate, and then FOMC, which is the interest rate. So these are the major fundamentals I look out for, and then also I think unemployment claims as well. On Wednesday we have red folder news for the Aussie dollar, and then also with the New Zealand dollar. Focus and fail fast. Aussie dollar and then the New Zealand dollar. And for USD, we don't really have much, or there's no high impact fundamental for the US dollar, so nothing interesting going on fundamentally here, unless maybe, of course, Donald Trump releases a statement on any of these social media platforms that could cause some volatility in the market, just as it happened on Friday, because there was no high impact news, but you could see gold really moving very, very quickly. We have high impact volatility on gold last Friday, right? And then on Thursday we have core price index month on month. We have prelim GDP, or the gross domestic products for the quarter, I guess. Yeah, and then also we have prelim GDP price index, and then we also have unemployment claims, all happening at 12:30 p.m. In addition to that, we also have some low impact news, which is core durable goods orders. We also have durable goods orders, and we also have personal income month to month, and then personal spending month to month. So this is quite huge for us on Thursday. So I think Thursday we might have some interesting, movement happening on at 12:30 p.m. So you need to keep an eye on that. If you are trading any USD related pair, keep an eye on Thursday, because so far I think this would be the major news within the week. So you need to keep an eye on it. Thursday 12:30 p.m. GMT. And even after New York opens, we still have new home sales at 2 p.m. and then we also have crude oil inventories at 4 p.m. GMT. And then lastly, on Friday, which will be the 29th of May, wrapping up for the month, we have also nothing much with the US dollar. We just have goods trade balance, and we also have prelim wholesale inventories month on month at 12:30 p.m. But these are not major news, so we'll be keeping an eye on the chart, technically. So which means that in the whole week, the major news that we should be keeping an eye on is on Thursday, 12:30 p.m., where we have a chunk of high impact mixed with low impact fundamentals. So once the economic calendar if we've done monitoring the economic calendar, let's head straight to the chart to see what we can see technically on gold. So here we have the daily time frame on gold, and I have marked out some key levels on the daily time frame where price had already reacted from. And currently, as we can see, this is where current price actually closed, and it is actually getting close to a major demand level. But something interesting actually happened last week, where I was actually expecting price to react from this zone, this demand zone here, and then possibly push all the way to the upside. But here we can see that the demand level keeps getting tested multiple times. So we have the first test over here, we have the second test, and the third test. And in my opinion, when a level gets tested multiple times, mostly there could be an indication that that level could be broken. And why am I saying that? Because I'm seeing clearly on the daily time frame that we are in a clear bearish trend, even though you can see there was some kind of range in between 4900 and 4400. But looking at structure wise, on the most recent structure on the daily time frame, I can see a clear bearish trend. So you can see that gold has been moving series of lower highs and lower lows, equal highs over here. Gold dumped, retested the demand zone, and then we have price not able to form a potential higher high to continue all the way to the upside. If in case gold would want to push up, then maybe it would have to break above this particular area here, so we have the strong demand, and I have a strong supply here. Let's look at what is happening on the 4 hour, where we can possibly mark out some internal structures and key levels as well. So back in the 4 hour, what do we see? Clearly the bearish trend still stands. The only thing that we could look at is the fact that the daily demand hasn't been broken yet, or price hasn't closed below the daily demand yet. But as you can see, we have a nice area of resistance here. There's a lower high, we had a lower low, we had a lower high here, possible lower low here, and then what do we see? We have equal lower highs that has also been formed here, which is a very strong indication for me that gold could possibly push to the downside, or could possibly break the demand level that we have here, because as I can see here, clearly gold has created equal highs here, so which means possibly gold could test this level once again for the second time. But my guess from the market is that this week possibly we could have gold coming all the way to 4400 from what I'm seeing, unless gold decides to break above 4560, which is somewhere around the demand that I just marked out. Then we can possibly have an inverse head and shoulder pattern being formed possibly, and then we can have gold heading back to the upside, testing the areas of 4700 and 4800. So I am bearish on gold, clearly bearish on gold, and trust me, I'm bearish on gold. If I am to pick a bias from what I'm seeing currently, I'm bearish on gold. So nothing much to say, because I've already explained to you why I'm bearish on gold, and even with the key levels that I've also marked out, especially on the 4 hour, I can clearly see that I'm bearish on gold. So I think last week Friday, I saw some nice opportunities, and let me see if I could break it down for us. So last week Friday, I think I saw an opportunity around, let's see, where was it? 45. It was around 45.30. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 45.30. I saw an opportunity around 45.30. That is somewhere around here. Yes. So I saw clearly that gold had formed, where was it? Friday. Yes. So I saw that gold had created a lower high here, right? From this area, because price failed to break above, so this was a lower high for me. Reacted to this zone again, and then it started pushing all the way to the downside. And I'm trying to look out for where, yeah, so I think it was somewhere around here. Excuse me. I'm trying to look out for the opportunity that I missed. Yeah, I think, yeah, it was somewhere around here. Let me just take out some price action. Let me take out some price action. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So on the 4 hour, I had realized that price had created a strong supply here, a very strong supply, and price had also tested that supply for the second time. All right. So this area that I saw, that was on Friday morning, was a clear indication for me that gold could drop even all the way to this level. Okay, so I just came to the 1 hour to see if I could find a possible entry, and then what did I see? Saw possible entry. So this was on Thursday, Friday. So could see a possible entry here. So because price had already reacted from this zone, my best guess was that okay, price has formed equal highs. Price has broken below this zone here, and then price could possibly retest the zone for the second time and then push all the way to the downside. Okay, so I move to the 15 minutes to look out for a retest of that zone. A retest of that zone. So you can see that clearly gold had broken, retested, and then it was still pushing up again for a possible second test of the zone. So you see the price had also reacted from this zone once again for the second time, and then it was still pushing up. It was still pushing up. So I think I was waiting for price around this zone. Possible reaction around that zone, then go short on gold. Then go short on gold. But the price action was very, very messy. Price action was very, very messy. So price couldn't get to the area that I was expecting. So maybe I could have looked out for opportunities around this zone area because you can see that had price had broken above the zone and it has tested this level multiple times. But this area would have been a clear cut opportunity for me to get in for sales. So I kept waiting for price to get here, but it failed to get there. And then we saw that price actually started dumping right from this area. And then we see price had already closed out on maybe 300 pips. So since I missed the entry for the first and second time, I just decided not to. I just decided to stay away from the market. And then this is what we have currently. So that is why I'm saying that possibly gold could continue all the way to the downside because I can see that from the higher time frame, which is the daily time frame, we still have a bearish structure. It's a clear bearish structure from the daily time frame. Clear bearish structure from the daily time frame. So I'll keep an eye on the chart, especially when market opens on Tuesday, because tomorrow, God willing, we have a bank holiday on the US dollar in the US actually. So nothing much for tomorrow. So I wouldn't even want to get on the chart on tomorrow. But on Tuesday, God willing, I'll be active on the chart to look out for opportunities over there. So that is it for gold XAU USD. Let's have a sneak peek on the Bitcoin. Let's quickly look at Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? What is Bitcoin doing currently? All right, so with Bitcoin, this is the daily time frame on Bitcoin, and it looks as though we have Bitcoin testing this demand for the second No, actually for the third time. Testing this demand for the third time. Okay, so I was expecting a pullback. I was actually expecting a pullback after it broke. So the last time I analyzed Bitcoin, it had already broken below the zone. So I was already expecting a pullback into this demand area here. And you can see the price has already reacted from this demand. And it's because price failed to create a new high. So we had a nice bullish trend over here. We had a bullish trend over here where price was forming series of higher highs and higher lows. And then we see that price was failing to create a new high, broke below the zone here, and then we have a dump back into this zone. So I think Bitcoin is still trying to keep the 76k zone. All right. And if I should look at things critically, there could be a bullish move here, even though I can see that price has already broken some internal structures over here, but this zone looks very strong. This demand zone here looks very strong in my opinion, and I think that if the buyers are active or the bulls are active around this zone, we could have a push back to the upside, testing the most recent high here, and then if possible we could have Bitcoin heading towards 85,000. But if not, then we could have more tank on Bitcoin. Then maybe we could have Bitcoin heading towards 69k zone, 69,000 area. Okay, because if I'm to look out for a possible push to the upside, then this area must be broken. This area must be broken. This area must be broken. So let's look at what the 4 hour has. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, so you can see from the 4 hour, there has already been a reaction here, nothing much to write home about. So I'll be more confident to go in for buys when price actually breaks above the zone, because we are still in a bearish trend on the structure on the 4 hour. So you can see price moving series of lower highs and lower lows here. And if we can use the trend line as a guide here, we can see clearly price is bouncing off the trend line one way or the other. All right, so possible push up around here. That is where also the most recent lower high has been formed too. So if price should break above this lower high, a possible retest of the trend line, and also with the level or the zone around this area too, we can have Bitcoin pushing all the way back to the highs that it created recently. But if it doesn't happen and then Bitcoin decides to close below this zone, then it means, trust me, Bitcoin will head straight to 70,000 or 69,000 in the coming week. So we should keep an eye on Bitcoin, and especially with the 78,156 price area, 78,156 area, for a possible push up to the upside. But if it doesn't happen and eventually it breaks below this zone, then we could head straight down to 69k, where there could be another major demand level over there. So that is it for Bitcoin. Nothing much to say. 78,000 as my possible breakout area for buys, and then also 75k or 74,000 as my possible break below for sells. Next up, we have silver. That is on the daily time frame. On silver also looks bearish. Silver looks bearish in my opinion. Looking at how price has reacted here, we have this strong area of resistance or supply zone, and we have the ultimate demand zone around this area. Price actually failed to push all the way up. Let me take out this, let me take out that. And what do I see? Price has tested this level for the second time, and then we see that at this zone price failed to break above the zone although we also failed to close below the zone, so which means that currently silver is quite dicey. And if market actually opens and maybe the bears actually decide to close below 74 region or price area, we could have silver also tanking as well. So currently, as you can see, nothing interesting. I'm just expecting a clear break below to the closer below the zone. Then we can have a possible entry around this area. Then a push back to the upside. But let the market open and decide on what it wants to do. But from what I'm seeing technically, silver is also looking bearish. Silver is also looking bearish. Any questions for me? Any questions for me so far, please? Any questions for me? Any questions for me, guys? Keep tapping on the screen, keep sharing the live. Any questions for me? Haruna, do you have a question? Ran, do you have a question? Finn, Codex, Blessing. Sorry, Blessius, Luxury. Do you have a question for me? Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for liking. Any questions? Or do you want me to analyze any instrument at all or any currency pair? Let me know. Any questions? No questions? No questions. Okay, Grant is good. Any more questions? Yeah, and I think I also gave us gold and silver. I don't really believe in correlations. I don't really believe in correlations, but they kind of move. Sometimes they move similar in a similar direction, but um, I don't really believe in correlations. I would rather advise that you analyze properly. You look out for your key levels and all that. Okay, then you can trade. I don't really like dealing with correlating pairs. That okay, if gold is selling, maybe silver must also sell. No, I don't really believe in that at all. I don't believe in that at all. Okay. So I think last week we analyzed GBP USD and we can see clearly that price has actually reacted from the zone that we marked, the buy zone that we marked, and you can see that I'm expecting GBP USD to get to at least 1.38, and currently we are doing close to I think 100 or 150 pips or something. I think you are doing just 100 pips. Yeah. GBP USD is very slow, but I know that possibly with this reaction that I'm seeing clearly, we could head to 1.36 in the coming week. We could head to 1.36 in the coming week. We could head to 1.36 in the coming week. Right. Any more questions? You'll be wrapping up very soon. Any more questions? Any more questions? No questions. All right, so that would be all for now, and thank you guys once again for joining us. I really appreciate each and every one of you who took their time to join me. And like I said, I would be active on the chat from Tuesday. So if you've not joined my Telegram community, this is a good opportunity for you to do so. Head straight to my bio. There's a link over there. That's a link to my Telegram community. And if you want to join my free VIP too, we have the links inside the Telegram community. If you also want to join the paid one too, we also have the link inside right in the community. So any update at all has already been provided or has already been posted in a Telegram community. Like I said, I'll still be keeping an eye on the chat, but most importantly, I'll be locking in or would be focusing on the VIP for now. In case maybe I see anything interesting going on within the week, I would definitely share maybe a setup or a signal in the free VIP as well. Okay, so we in the free community, sorry. So we're keeping an eye on the chat. Make sure that you manage your risk properly whenever you are trading. Keep an eye on the chat very well. Make sure that you are not doing anything that would, you know, would mess your account up and your emotions up. All right, trading is very, very risky. So the only thing that we have in control is your risk, and then you manage your emotions very well. All right. So my name is Nana Trades, and if you have any questions, you can also send me a DM. You want to reach out to me, you can send me a DM, or you can also send me a message on Telegram as well. Okay, my WhatsApp number it's also on your screen, so you can also pick up my WhatsApp number and hit me up as well. So if you need anything at all in relation to trading, any assistance in relation to trading, you can just hit me up. Then I would be ready to assist you. All right. So without further questions or any input, I would like to end the session for now. Thank you guys once again. I really appreciate your presence here. And I'll see you, God willing, next week for another breakdown session. Have a very good evening, guys.